Like, Lord have mercy, Lord, Lord. Ooh, girl. Ooh, girl. Ow. I just hit my funny bone and that wasn't even funny. Oh, not this camera. This mesa, this table right here, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work because if you look at it, it's taking up too much of the camera and like I need the focus on me, okay? I have this plant right here that's like, ooh, girl. And then I got the table right here that's like, ooh, girl. And I just, it's doing too much. My God is an awesome God, he reigns. First and foremost, I'm going to burn an incense because, whew, oh Lord, there's a fire. That's all I'm about to say.
Yes, Jesus loves me. From the body I evil, it's his hands me so. Oh, even me, Lord, even me, oh Lord, even me. Okay, because I'm gonna be here all night.
Bueno, so I just had to change the battery pack real quick, right? And I didn't know if this battery pack would be full or like fully charged, excuse me, or halfway dead, right? I put it in, I see that it's fully charged. I'm like, okay. All right, so the incense that I'm doing today is called Chakra, okay? Okay. So yes, it's by the same brand. I'm joking.
Gonna give you this mic back, but what I'm gonna say to the ladies that been told that you cannot have, you tell the devil you's a liar.
I don't know what the title is, God okay see, right, as per usual. However, I did some audio talking more extensively about this agenda that I see being cultivated, and it's an agenda to sort of shame women, shame young girls rather, into portraying themselves as easy or transactional for the sake of making things easier for the men who already feel entitled to their bodies. You know, it's like now we're in an age where, from my perspective at least, I'm living in a time where you're more likely to come off as insecure if you are a young girl who doesn't want to show her body. Whereas when I was a kid, other girls made fun of girls who were revealing or very promiscuous or very sexually advanced or experienced, although they were, only in 6th grade. We were exposed to, or I stayed at home, child. But I was growing up in a time where in 6th grade, girls would go to juking parties, and juking is basically dry sex. Like I don't think that is a real dance. I don't see that as appropriate for children to do. And in 6th grade, you're 6 plus 5, you're 11. So like you're very young to be doing all that gyrating and stuff like that. But like that was a norm for some kids. Like either their parents didn't know where they were, or they did and they just didn't care, maybe because they did the same thing. Either way, I see the agenda more clearly now, especially as a young 20-year-old. I'm like, oh okay. Like I see that when a woman comes out, let's talk about like celebrities, for example, right? When a woman comes out, whether she's a rapper, whether she's an actress, whatever creative entity she may be, the woman will come out and the woman will be slowly but surely ushered down this sexual journey where she hardly looks like how she did when she first came onto the scene, right? But she also has added a sexual bonus to the package that she's selling you. Not only is she a rapper, or not only is she like a small town girl who wanted to make it big or what have you, but she's also, or not only is she just some girl who does videos on YouTube or whatever, but she's also a sex symbol. She's also the girl that we want you to imagine being in your bed. And it's like, no matter what career path these public figures or influencers or whatever find themselves going down, there's always a sexual twist to it. There always has to be sex being sold in order, oh Lord have mercy, in order for the package to flourish. I see it all the time, and at this point I don't know how to converse with people who don't recognize it. I think that in this age of, oh, you know, it's sexual liberation, don't shame women, you're supposed to uplift women, black women always tear other black women down, don't be like that, remember this person and remember that person. Like, Lord, it's just an excuse to get the noise to quiet, because there are people with sense, like with common sense, who are looking at the bigger picture, and we see that we still live in a patriarchal society, meaning that for every woman that you see bending it over, busting it open and touching the toes and all that kind of stuff that these men keep telling y'all to do, and y'all keep on doing it, there is a man who is above her, so to speak, above her, in the sense that for every $1 million that she's making from that concert or from that tour, there is a man sitting in a box office somewhere who just made $70 million off of the same tour. And that's why you, as a woman, as the act or the celebrity, are allowed to go on stage and sell yourself and shake yourself. Like, you are the person that's being sold, and you don't even know how much they're capitalizing off of you. You have no idea. And you want to sell this image to girls who are at home, maybe sitting on social media, maybe watching daytime television, and they see you during an entrevista or an interview or something. Yo no sé, I don't know. But I think that you have to understand, as the girl looking at all this kind of stuff, that people are trying to sell you something. People are trying to sell you something. Like, if you are the celebrity, you're obviously going to get to that point where you care more about the money. I think that's all that it is. You don't care that your daughter is going to be looking at this one day. And it's so funny to me, because people, especially adults are so hypocritical. And I can't help but think back to when I was a kid and how so many adults treated me or revered me or talked about children around me as if we had no sense, as if we were just simply to be here and look cute. Like, just dance, do your part, whatever, go get me a glass, go get me the remote, whatever. But so many adults don't even follow the precedents that they set for the children in their households, for the children in their extended family, or even for the people around them. So many people do not practice what they preach. And that's why we will continue to have this Jezebel spirit that has opened her legs and sucked the earth in between it, okay? That's why these types of women and these types of men who are so desensitized and like comfortable with selling themselves, they will always exist, because we are, like, not all of us, but too many of us are like lost causes at this point. Too many of us are lost. Too many of us don't even see the images that we're being sold. Some of y'all are still looking at movies that come out of Hollywood thinking that it's just a movie. No, they're actually telling you stuff that's going on. It's not just a movie. That inspiration came from something that actually happened. Like, some people are like here, and then there are some people who are like here. And I don't know, this whole agenda to make women and to make girls think that they're doing something wrong if they don't show themselves is obviously just to fit, or just to benefit the men in power, the men who want to see our bodies being sold, the men who are trying to sell to other men this idea of you being in their bedroom just because they want it. All of these these women empowerment warriors will back out of the conversation when it's time to acknowledge that. There's this idea that, like, if you so much as question or state that as a woman you would not ever participate in that kind of behavior. You're slut shaming, you're shaming of this sort and this sort and this sort, as if now we must all fall in line and think the same way, especially about viral or sensational movements or hashtags that exist on social media for a few hours. If you so much as question, well, how does y equals mx plus, like how do we get here without this and that, then all of a sudden you're shaming, your phobia, or you're phobic to this and you're that. So in terms of the latest stuff between the Trish Paytas woman, I don't even want to say people's name because it's like, I don't want to give them the time or the energy, because whether it's this person or this person, it keeps happening and it's going to keep happening, and that's the larger issue. Whatever person who has signed up to do the bidding this day or on this time around is not really as important, but you have one YouTube star, what have you, posting pictures of her crusty butthole on social media just because. You have the girl who threw up on her, I don't know, some man that she's with, threw up on his lower half after performing a sexual act on him, and had the nerve to post that stuff. He had the nerve to tell her to keep performing, and she had the nerve to post that, and then the next day come out and say that women who do not charge for sexual intercourse or sexual acts are women who have no respect for themselves because they're not taxing women. I mean, they're not taxing men. She said they have no self-respect, and to her it seems like those women don't have any idea of their self-worth. She's taxing men because she knows her self-worth. I never thought in my lifetime I would hear a woman say that she's worth throw up on a man's peen, but I guess that's the level that we are at in society, because I grew up in an age where it was cute and powerful to say that you are priceless, and to really believe that you are priceless. The moment you put a dollar amount of any kind to who you are, oh Lord, you are commodified as it could be. And again, a lost cause. That is ridiculous to me. It's really pathetic, and I think the saddest part of it all is how accessible that kind of stuff is to young people. That kind of stuff is flooding down Twitter. Although, Lord have mercy, my tongue is over here like that kind of stuff is like floating down the Twitter timeline or whatever. It's floating down social media timelines. Yeah, if you so much as like offer a remedy for the virus, the Moko virus that's going around, if you so much as offer like some information about that, you're getting flagged, or like, these companies are coming after you, they don't want to have anything to do with you, you're all of a sudden going against the guidelines of this organization and stuff, so you can't speak the truth on anything, right? But we can have sexual content we can have explicit and graphic nudity all day, and there's no problem with that. Y'all fake like y'all censors didn't catch it, and y'all tell the person to take it down, of course, after people have downloaded and circulated the images. The agenda is clear. It is so clear. And to young girls, I mean, I feel like the damage has already been done, because I grew up, or I was born at the very end of the basically, let's just say I was born right before the year 2000. So, I was going to say right at the end of the 21st century, but not the last year, so it's not technically the end, right? Pero sí, so like, I feel like I've seen the shift of our society just growing more sexual or more sexually charged. And I think that people don't want us to question it because they want to be able to objectify the young girls and the young boys who fall for it. You can be liberated and not let people know your business. It is possible to be, as they would say, a freak in the sheets and have some self-respect when you're in the streets. Like, it's possible to live in this world and in this day and age and not let everybody see every part of you, literally and figuratively. I don't need to know. If I'm never going to meet you, if you and I are never going to have any type of sexual interactions, why do I know what your butthole looks like? Why do I see the crust and the boo-boo flakes? Why? Why, my dear? Please tell me. Okay. Like, I was just about to. It's too late. It's too late at night for that. But I was just going to say, why, my dear, must you show this to me? I am disgusted. Bon. But it's like, why? Why are we wrong for questioning that? Why are we shaming? Why is it not right for me as a young girl to say, I don't want other young girls to see this? Why is that wrong? And if that's the attitude that we have whenever people ask questions, obviously, then the desire is just for people to fall in line and not be curious about the changes that we see coming down the pipeline. I think that these days, little girls are more interested in blowing boys as opposed to blowing bubbles, because those sexual gestures and those sexual acts are what we see. That's what women are talking about in the media. And it's amazing because it's like, again, these really graphic sexual songs are vulgar, and they're coming from women who are supposed to be in relationships and in love and what have you. Yet, you do not have security in something that you think you need to brag about and show off constantly and tell everybody about. I know how I am, who I am, and what have you. I don't need to convince anybody else of that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they think of me. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have a WAP. It doesn't matter if you are all these. I can't even begin because I really don't listen to that kind of music. I think it's as toxic as male rappers talking about shooting up the block just because. Like, it's all just really freaking toxic. And people want to sit here and shout this movement name and this movement name. But it's like, listen to the things that you consume 24/7 and think of the things that you put out there. You're part of the problem. You're very toxic. And all these women think it's okay and it's cute now to have to be, pardon me, but like booty hole backwards or like completely upside down on the dance floor, completely butt naked now. But again, if they ever walk into a club and saw their own daughter or their own son doing that kind of stuff, excuse me, I'm so like, oh, like right now, because it's just, I feel a type of way. But it's like they would be mortified. I would be mortified just thinking about it. I'm like, I can't imagine seeing like a young relative or somebody that I know in a strip club bending over. And again, there's some man that's sitting in a box office upstairs just chilling, knowing he's about to come collect all this money, make all this money off of y'all, degrading yourselves. And the girl's messaging saying, oh, well, all my bills are going to be paid for. Listen, don't ever let anybody convince you that there's anything wrong with having integrity or having dignity and being honest, because all that stuff they cannot go buy at a store. Okay, there are going to be people who sell all that stuff out, or sell all that stuff away, and then when they run out, they're going to be looking at you wishing that they had some integrity left. They're going to be wishing that they had an ounce of dignity left. That stuff is not cheap. That is something you cultivate, and you build over time. You cannot just compromise your morale and compromise your character just for the sake of one thing, especially something temporary, like a high or something, like, I don't know, an industry or a business rather, that could end in your death or your spirit being corrupted or something. Like, you can't give up. Don't give up those things. Don't ever let somebody make you think that getting up and actually working for your money and knowing that everything that you see around you is something that exists because of your efforts. You can think of all these memories from all these days of work. You know where your stuff is coming from. Don't ever make somebody or let somebody make you think that there's something wrong with that. I don't care if this is my opinion or, it is what it is. I think that if anything, there's something wrong with somebody having all this money, having access to all this money, and they know that it's dirty. They know that somebody is breaking their back or sending their child off from the village to go, grab the medals and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people look away when it comes to where they get their money from. They don't want to talk about that. And those are the people who can't sleep at night. Those are the people who have spirits that have been corrupted. There's something way wrong. There's something way worse about having that on your conscience than working at fucking Target. Excuse me, but like, get your money honestly, and create a job for you, and create a space for you to excel in. But don't ever let somebody tell you that you need to be charging somebody you're in a relationship with to have intercourse. What the hell? It just Lord, it just showed me that this is somebody who's not been shown like pure, unapologetic, and unconditional affection. That's what I gather from that. She just hasn't ever met somebody who is willing to love her, who would be willing to love her, whether she looked like this or that, whether she could walk, whether she could run, whether she could see, whether she could hear. Somebody who wants to please her and give to her just because he loves her that much, and he wants to see her smile, and wants to see her happy, and wants to see that he can give her pleasure. Like, she's just never had that. And that's why she's trying to flip this narrative towards everybody else and say, y'all cuckoo for fucking. That's why she's trying to flip the script and create this narrative and say that y'all are cocoa for fucking Cocoa Puffs, or cuckoo for fucking Cocoa Puffs or something. That's why she's trying to say that y'all or everybody else is fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because they don't. I'm fucking done, bro. I don't know why I can't say it. Maybe I'm fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That is hilarious. I think I'm gonna save that too. I really tried, because I'm like, that's such a good line right there. I don't write my stuff out. I just go off the dome, But oh my god, that is so funny. That is hilarious, bro. I'm about to chop that up and send that to my phone. That is so funny. Alright, anywho, I'm gonna close this out because I already did like a podcast type of episode about this, and that one was about 30 minutes long. This is about 22 minutes long. So it's like, I might as well just, do one or the other at this point. I don't really need to do both. But yeah, I just think the agenda is whack. I think, these poor girls out here are, what, this is what I think. I think hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your kids. Because obviously there's somebody who's trying to, there's an entity, there's an energy that wants your children to be numb and ignorant to their power as individuals, as human beings, especially the power to decide for yourself what your life should look like. That is a power that people do not like to see you embrace or utilize. Because when you start realizing and saying, player, okay, you're not about to come up in here and do that, okay, player, okay? Like when you I think I'm done. But yes, when you decide to take hold of your life, that's when you'll see a lot of resistance from people. And those are the people you watch out for. Because anybody who's in support of you and wants to see you shine and grow is not going to ever try to stop your grind. Never, honey, okay? Hamas. But on that note, I would say, what do I say? Tata mi amores. Take care.
Gonna give you this mic back. But what I'm gonna say to the ladies that been told that you cannot have, you tell the devil you's a liar.